Hey there, YouTube. How's it going? Nerdy Narwhal here, and I'm back again today with another Joytoy action figure review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Joytoy Dominion Zephon from the Warhammer Horus Heresy line. He is a blood angel. His drip is absolutely superb, and this just might be my all-time favorite Joytoy figure ever released. No customization needed, I feel, currently. This guy goes hard, and I'm going to take a look at him here today with you. So thank you for joining me here on Nerdy Narwhal. Let's dive in and check this guy out. All right, first things first, what's in the box? Obviously, there's the figure. There's everything that's on the figure. We're going to get to that in a second. What other little tiny extras do we get in there that I didn't just have displayed on the figure? Pop open that crinkly crackly plastic, toss that to the side, and we've got hands and a head. Boom, get out of here. Okay, first things first, this is Dominion Zephon's unmasked head. I'm not gonna lie, this is far from the best that we've seen from Joytoy, but it's an unmasked head option. I'll show you what that looks like on the figure. If you like that, go for it. It's here for you. He only has one of those little dot service studs on his forehead. It's gold, which means that at this point in time, he was younger than Captain Titus. We have our sets of gripping hands. The other one is currently on the figure. We have a shooting hand. The other one is currently on the figure. And we have a relaxed hand. Very good. Is there another relaxed hand in the box? I don't know. It's a Warhammer figure. I'm literally never going to use the relaxed hands, especially not when he comes with this much weaponry on him. Now, we also get these here are the hands that I did not really show off yet. The other shooting hand, the other relaxed hand. We have this absolutely awesome Blood Angel's sword here, little power sword. You can see how it catches the light, and that is excellent. You can also see how it has that nice blue, looks like it was just aired on there, blends and twists with the blade. That's a power sword. That's sick. This thing can cut straight through Space Marine armor, I bet you, and it has that look about it. Awesome weapon. He also comes with these two Shoosty pistols, right? Let's pop that out there. These are Volkite pistols. He can dual wield them if you want him to do that, and he'll look pretty cool dual wielding them. One has the Blood Angels. This one is more just soft Imperial coated. I like to have him with the sword in one hand and this Volkite pistol in the other. Now, I believe in lore, Volkite is supposed to be pretty hardcore stuff, right? Like plasma on steroids. Pretty sure a sustained hit from Volkite can just blast straight through Space Marine armor also. So this guy should be pretty lethal to other Space Marines. Seeing as how he is a Horus Heresy Marine, first and foremost. That's where his lore comes from, right? That probably is to his benefit. And that's it. That is everything this guy comes with. For the most part in my collection, that pistol right there is going to stay slid right into the holster. He will be wielding the sword in his left hand, and he will be ready to scope some baddies with his right hand. Let's move along. Oh, and how can I forget, he also comes with this super handy little display stand. It has these little waist clippies right there. I like to actually just slide those up and around the backpack so I can get him in kind of a hover stand. Now I could go in there and I could tighten those bolts and probably get a little bit better of a grip out of it so it could sustain him in more of a flying pose. But really it just kind of supports him for me in this mid flying pose, which I think is fairly true to the miniature, right? Mini wasn't on a flying base. The Mini was on, like he was jumping off of something, sort of a base. So really, he just needs a little support, and it gets the job Done. Now, before we get into articulation, which I think is a very big plus for this figure, I just want to talk about the overall aesthetic of it. Yes, this guy is big. This guy will fit in well with your Space Marine 2 figures from Joytoy. And his drip is absolutely superb, right? I mean, he's a Blood Angel. We have only gotten the new 4.0 figures, if that's what you're calling them. Joytoy doesn't officially call them that, but I'll call them that here for ease. We've only gotten these new 4.0 figures from Joytoy with some Horus Heresy Chaos-coated Marines, I think. And these guys from the Space Marine 2 line and some Chaos Black Legion. So I think really this is the first time that we are seeing it with a Loyalist Legion or chapter, right, outside of the Ultramarines. So I was super sick to get some more of that. I'm really hoping that the upcoming Cypher figure is also, because then we will have, I guess, technically a Chaos Space Marine, but a Dark Angels using that new articulation also. And I love the new sizing. I love the new articulation. It takes these guys, these Joytoy figures, from being comparable, I feel, to the McFarlane line of figures to really being more on scale in terms of their quality feel with the Bandai stuff, which cost a whole lot more money than the Joytoy figures do. So anyways, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. Let's move him out of the way and talk entirely about Zephon's drip from head to toe. Let me angle the camera down on him a little bit and get into what is going on. He has that old school little bubbly pauldron there, right? I love those. I think they're sick. I model my Marines with them in 40K all the time. He has these 2 gun holsters, and those aren't just boring old leather holsters. They've got some drip too. You got your little Blood Angels blood drop. This little try whatever design. I don't know. I don't play Blood Angels. I could probably ask my buddy who does, but I'm an Orcs player, for goodness sake. I don't know what any of that stuff means. There's this one with the chalice there, and 2 very fancy knees. And he's got all of his robo limbs going on. Even this chest, right? This is the 30K armor mark. And usually their chests, I feel, are a bit more boring than the standard Imperial Aquila that you get with the skull and the wings, right? That thing's sick. Usually I find these ones a bit boring, but he has that golden skull icon in the middle too, which contrasts well against this beautiful silver that we have coming down. So even then, he's not a boring figure. And let's get over to that right pauldron. Woo-hoo-wee! Oh yeah, the gold, the wings, the skull, the drip, the colors, it's all there. He's got some dangly little bling hanging off too. Even his elbow pads, right? How close will my camera let me get? Even his elbow pads, even his hands have drip on them. Everything. This guy is oozing. His armor's engraved with that little blood tear right there. His helmet has it. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over this guy. He's regal, right? I hear the word Baroque armoring being thrown around often. And this guy has absolutely got it. And I cannot keep my hands off of it, posing it. And we're going to get to articulation in a second, because that is just absolutely dreamy. Everything I do ends up looking good. Posing it, enjoying it, and just looking at it over and over and over. Look at that. I have him standing on one leg right now. It looks like he might not be, but he is. That right leg's not even on the ground. That is a one-leg pose that I just did on camera almost by accident. It's that easy to pose him. And yeah, that pose doesn't look great, but I mean, that's not a bad pose. That's kind of an action-packed pose. Give me 30 seconds and I can make that look pretty darn sick. And he's balancing with that heavy backpack on. This is a sick figure. This guy is going to light up a shelf. whatever shelf you have them on. If you have other Blood Angels, way to go. This guy's a centerpiece for your Blood Angels. If you just have some other Space Marines, there you go. This guy is catching some attention. If you have nothing but Necrons or any other figures around, this guy's drawing eyes to him on the shelf. He is a sick, sick action figure. All right, I've gushed about the drip quite enough. Let's get into the functionality, because that, working in tandem with the drip, is part of what makes this figure so gosh darn exceptional. First of all, let's start with the backpack, right? Yes, those are articulated. They're held on by rubber. I'm not sure why they're articulated. I will never move these things on swivels. I don't know why they exist, but whatever. Cool. It's a jump pack. It's rad, and you can twist them if you really feel the need or want to. That head is on a small double ball joint, right? But you can get him to look left. You can get him to look right. That beaky helmet, and he will go up just a teeny tiny bit and down just a teeny tiny little bit. I'm going to pop that head off, and I'm going to shove that one on there. Articulation is relatively the same regardless of the head, only with this head it's not so much that beak bumping into the chest as much as it is just the sculpting of the neck bottom itself in that little pit that ball joint is in there. And you'll see what just happened there. That backpack fell off. That has really been my only gripe with this figure. Sometimes when I'm posing, that backpack will fall off when I do not want it to. In order to mitigate that, I actually took a few thin strips of plastic, shoved them over those, and boom, shoved it in there. Not sure, I might just super glue it, right? I don't see me ever interchanging this backpack with anything. And I tend to do that with some of these figures. But, you know, I might not super glue it. I don't really care. Oh, there I go, striking another pose, because this guy is awesome and fun to play with. Now let's get into those shoulders. These are those 4.0 shoulders, right? So you have this on a completely separate ball joint peg system that separates away from the arm, allowing you to get super dynamic stuff. And yes, in certain poses that will intersect, but as long as you're smart and you push the ball joint where this arm connects into that shoulder in there down first, then you're really going to be moving this guy a lot better than you otherwise would. There we go. Got that arm not quite 90 away from the body, but pretty close. And you can slide that thing all around in a 360. That's great. That is good articulation. For the most part, because he's a sword wielding character, I want to be able to get that sword clear across his body. Boom! Hit you with that slice. And it can do that with ease thanks to that excellent butterfly joint in the back right there. Really what Joytoy has shown us with those 4.0 bodies is that they are capable of a very sophisticated joint system with their action figures, as opposed to some of their earlier intercessors, which, you know, they were still, it was a great joint system, especially for 1/18 scale figures, but still somewhat basic, right? Not anymore. What's going on with their shoulders is nothing short of sophisticated, and I wish all of their figures moving forward would use that system. It's just easy to use, easy to work with, and you can get some sick poses. Now here's what's fun about this guy is he actually uses two separate joint systems. So these arms here, unlike the other intercessors, are on a single joint because these are his robo arms. And I find that because this robo arm is sculpted with a harder, I don't want to say brittle, but it's a harder, lighter feeling plastic, right? As is that right there. This joint feels like it would be pretty loose, and maybe it'll get loose over time. But I just gave it a shake. I haven't had any problem with slippage yet. It just moves super easily. So that might be something to keep out an eye on, keep a lookout for. as these figures age. The wrist right there is on a ball joint. It can do all the stuff that you expect a ball joint to do. And let's not forget that swivel up there in the bicep. That is handy. This guy can move however you want, and he'll look good doing it. Of course, that right arm is exactly, right, just a clone of the left. And while that shoulder pad is possibly a bit bigger, it's going to move around. Get that. There we go. Just the same as the other one. And that butterfly joint will allow him to shoot all the way across his body. Let's get Zephon sprinting in one direction, looking back, and shooting. Awesome, right? Super easy. You're just hitting poses with this guy all day, and it's looking great as you do it. Sorry, my hands have been in this review almost the whole time because I'm playing with this figure and talking about it as opposed to doing an actual action figure review like usual. Now, he has a double ball joint at the top just underneath that diaphragm there, as well as a ball joint at the bottom. That's going to give you some serious crunch, right? Looking all the way down like so. Get that sword out of the way. And it'll give you some pretty serious back bend. Now he's looking all the way up. Those joints are great. You could try to tuck the armor behind that and it's going to crunch it, but if you fold that armor over, there you go. You're really maximizing that bend that he can get. Now, all of his grenades down here, that's a frag, right? Pretty sure those are cracks. I don't really know. They're cool. They're grenades. They are all attached with these little ball joints here, so those are going to move and get out of the way easily and naturally as you fold his joints. Now, those hips are connected to the figure on a ball joint down in there. They can do all the things ball joints can do. There's a swivel up at the tip top, and now you have two different joint systems for those knees. This one's on a double bend, and that's going to give you a huge range of motion. As you can see, that is a nice, tight, full kneel that we have going on here. This is on a single ball joint. And now I feel like this should give us a big range of motion. However, because of how that armor is sculpted, that is going to hit the calf on the back of that hamstring there. So, oh well, it's going to be not even quite 90 degrees. Doesn't bug me too much though, right? It's enough for me to get some super sick poses with. And right here, you know, this spot, his lower leg right there, I feel is some weaker sculpting. Those details look kind of soft to me in there, but it's not an eye catcher. I'm hardly going to be looking at it, right? This right here, this foot is on a hinge up and down and swivel, right? So it's going to give you all the articulation you need. This foot, as a standard, is on one of their double ball joints, which again, just using a slightly different joint system, is going to give you all the articulation you could ever need or want out of a foot joint. And boom. Well, I guess, you know, it might count as articulation. His gun holsters, now this is something I was worried about with this figure. How hard or easy is it to put those guns in and out of the holster? I remember I had some Play Arts Kai figures, some Solid Snakes, right? And they use a similar system, and you can never get that to clip. Well, boom, it's that easy. I don't know what Joytoy did, but they solved that minor issue. The gun is in, pull it open, slide that gun out, and boop. Oh, come on now. Boom. And 1, 2, 3. Boom. There. You can feel it when it goes in. It's a bit hard to do on camera, but now the holster is once again sealed. The gun is out, and Zephon is ready to just do some serious blasting. Awesome. So now what I want to do here is see if I can get something closely resembling the actual miniature that this guy is based off of for a pose with you on camera, right? So his pose, his mini is pretty darn sick. Super dynamic. 2 hands on the sword going around the chest, and I'm going to just do it live to see what kind of approximation we can get. Now, I don't have any sort of reference material, so I'm kind of going off of memory. And it's when I do something like this that I'm reminded that Joytoy gave us this for an unmasked head sculpt. What the hell is even that? As opposed to the super sick head sculpt that the mini came with, right? That mini came with a dope head sculpt. A really expressive face. Had we gotten that face, I might have displayed this without the helmet. But we didn't, so you won't catch me displaying this guy without the helmet. And let's go like that. Not quite. I'm pretty sure his mini, something like this, I guess. Where I'm struggling to get that approximation with the miniature proper is with the range of articulation in the neck, right? But the arms are going across the body, no problem. The hands are holding his accessories, no problem. Right? I'm having no issue with the arms thanks to that awesome 4.0 articulation. That crunch is there, right, with those legs. That leg, I think, is down a little bit. Boom. Like, that's pretty darn close to the mini, I think. Right? I could be wrong, but sheesh, I'll have to look at a reference after this when I put the video up, see if I nailed it or if it's just doo-doo. But again, this guy just poses super well, and he looks great every time you do it. I can hardly take my eyes off it. I can hardly stop playing with the damn thing. And again, he balances so easily on those big honking feet with those tight usable joints, despite having this big chonkin backpack back there. So, all right, let's conclude this video. All right, final thoughts on the Joytoy Dominion Zephon action figure. I guess I'll start with some things that I wish were a little bit better on this guy, and namely the unmasked head sculpt. That's the biggest drawback. I just wish we would have gotten the actual head sculpt that came on the mini, as opposed to this boring junk head sculpt that I will never use, ever. That's a junker of a head sculpt. Don't care who knows it. Secondly, that's about it. I think everything else about this figure is pretty much awesome. I guess I had some mild paint rub come on my copy over here, but oh well, I'll dab it with a bit of not black, but gold, and it'll look great. The articulation, right? That posability, the overall looks. I'm not even a Blood Angels guy, and this is one of my favorite figures in my collection right now because I can keep on getting it into something new, and it just looks awesome. I don't even usually review my Joytoy figures, right? I usually save my reviews for higher end stuff, 1/6 scale, stuff like that. But I felt compelled to just get the word out there because this guy is so awesome, right? Folks were a little bit cranky when they introduced the new scale of the figures with the Space Marine 2 line, but Astartes are different sizes anyways, and Zephon is a leader character. I don't mind if he's going to be bigger than a couple of the 3.0 Blood Angel intercessors that I have in my army, right? This guy looks awesome on the shelf, and do I think you should pick him up if you haven't already? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Obviously, get this guy while the getting's good. Get this guy while he is cheap and affordable. And if you miss out, wait for Joytoy to reissue it and get this guy then, because you do not want to miss out on the Joytoy Dominion Zephon. I picked this guy up on David Toys, right? I used Sprues and Studs code to get it nice and cheap. I'm pretty sure I picked him up for, how much did it cost me? It was like $50, right? Not super bad. That's not a lower end figure. That's not what you're going to Walmart and spending $20 on. But for this level of quality, it's an absolute steal. It is a steal. And it might be cheaper on Amazon. I don't know. Shop around, but I suggest you pick this guy up. And he's going to look awesome next to any other 40K figures, any other figures, period, on a shelf by himself. This guy looks absolutely great. This is against the Codex Astartes. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares because Dominion Zephon is rad. Anyways, per usual, if I have left any questions that you have unanswered in this action figure review, let me know down in the comments and I will do my best to answer them down there. If you ask a really deep question that behooves me to create another video on, I'll do a short or another video. We'll get your question answered. That's what I like to do on this channel. I love interacting with the community that I enjoy, the action figure collecting community. Now it's the Warhammer community also, hobbying. That's my stuff. So if you'd like to get a dialogue going about something, please do. Don't be shy. Anyways, though, if I haven't left any questions unanswered, thank you for tuning in and enjoying this figure with me. Do you have this figure already? Like me, is this one of your favorite Joytoy Warhammer figures in your collection now? Or did you find some things about it that you don't like as much as I did? I'd be curious to know. Let me know. All right. Thank you for tuning in to this Nerdy Narwhal action figure review. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Nerdy Narwhal out.